I think I know what you guys are going to say to this, but I'm going to have some stats to back this up a little bit. If both of these players ended their careers today, the history books would say that Russell Wilson had a better career than Aaron Rodgers.
Better career.
We're not talking talent level, right? Just career.
We're talking about a career.
It's interesting because history will be much kinder to the Legion of Boom Seahawks, and Russell Wilson will be remembered as the quarterback of those good Seahawks teams. And they're associated with the Patriots dynasty, where there was a big Super Bowl swing with the Malcolm Butler interception. I mean, there's teams that genuinely just get forgotten. Although Aaron Rodgers and the Packers did get a Super Bowl, so I don't think they're going to be forgotten. But Aaron Rodgers is not going to be looked upon kindly in history's eyes, I don't think.
No, I'm going to go ahead and say that Aaron Rodgers' career was better. I personally value MVPs highly, and I think that Aaron Rodgers winning back-to-back should just place his spot over any career Russell Wilson had, even if he lost that Super Bowl by a hair. I don't really care. We saw Russ leave Seattle maybe in the later years, and they one playoff berth and since he's left Seattle.
Okay, Rodgers was drafted in what year? Was it 03?
05, I think.
05, yes, 05.
05, yeah.
Wilson was drafted in, I believe, 11 or 12.
I think 12.
He was 12.
12.
It was Andrew Luck's class.
Yes, so Rodgers was 05. Wilson was 12. In Rodgers' career, he's had 12 playoff appearances, and Russell Wilson has had 9.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's an interesting stat. Aaron Rodgers in his career in the playoffs is 12-10, and he's appeared in 1 Super Bowl, and he's 1 for 1. Russell Wilson is 9-8 in his playoffs, but is 1 for 2 in the Super Bowl. So he's made more Super Bowls, and he's done it in a shorter span.
Yeah, but I'll say is I would value Pete Carroll highly in this conversation comparatively to Aaron Rodgers and what he's been dealt with. For years, we said Aaron Rodgers needed help, and he still won MVPs. I know Jordy was
Adams.
But during that span, they didn't draft a single skill position player in the first round for what, a decade? Devontae Adams was a second-round pick. I get that, and he was a top-of-the-notch guy. Jordy Nelson, top-of-the-notch guy. But the reality is like Russ was dealing with a lot better talent around him and a lot more emphasis from the leadership giving them pieces also on the defensive side than I ever saw with Aaron Rodgers. And he still managed to get back-to-back MVPs and 3 MVPs.
You're just making impossible points. I think
it's not
Aaron
that
Rodgers
facts.
is obviously the more talent. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
But so was Jim Kelly. Ain't nobody give a fuck about Jim Kelly. And he went to 4 Super Bowls. Jim Kelly was legitimately all-time at quarterback. You don't hear about it. So I think history is a lot more brutal on these guys than, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
No, I think Aaron's been in the conversation of like top talented guys for so long that I don't think it's ever going to die. Like people are going to talk about Aaron because of his play style forever. Russell Wilson, I think he'll be just as good of a career as he had. He'll still be a drop in the pan.
Yeah, I'm not making the argument. Aaron Rodgers is legit all-time. Best.
He is.
One of the best
He
ball
should be.
spinners. One of the best ball spinners we've seen. So
Without
we'll end it on that.
question. But I will say Russell Wilson did make a playoff with his new team. Aaron Rodgers has yet to do that, and he got all the pieces that he wanted back. But let's move on a little bit. We'll move on to the next one.
Let me finish this. Let me
that.
finish one thing before you say that. Let's see where Russ is in 7 freaking years. That's the difference. Let's see where Russ is and see if he goes to a new team and then see if he can do it. Because that's what you're trying to compare the two. That's not a comparison.
I'm just saying.
You take Aaron Rodgers MVP level
I'm
out.
just saying.
If you take
I'm just
MVP
saying.
Rodgers, drop him another team's making the playoffs. But
If
we're not
they
talking about
ended their
MVP
careers today,